They're live, son.
All right, we'll wait a little bit.
But I'm going to go ahead and mention, as the title says there, a complete Profire installation. And Joe here, we're going to get over here to Joe in a second. Joe went with the complete setup from A to Z. I mean, he really did it right the same way I would do it if I was out cleaning. And we'll go over that in just a second. Kyle, you got that handle up nice and tall for him?
Yeah.
I also want to mention, guys, before I get over here, that depending on your height, adjust your handle of your wand according to your height. I've been mentioning that to a lot of people because I've been out on the road. And while I'm out on the road, I've noticed that a lot of guys don't have their wand handle adjusted correctly. So take the time and adjust it correctly. And I'll show you how to do that in 1 second. First of all, Joe, thank you very much.
Nice to meet you, bro.
I appreciate it, man. And what do you think of the setup so far?
It's amazing. I love it.
All right, we're going to fire it over here in a minute or so, too. And Ed and Kyle did the install. Ed's been with us for like 20-some years, I guess, something like that. It seems like forever, right? Yeah, when I had a full head of hair. Right, 99. Geez, now we got the new crew here with a full head of hair. That's Kyle. So these are the two guys who usually handle most of your installs. Just so you know, I usually oversee them. You know, I've been out on the road, but when there's a large install or something's going on, I'll usually come back up here and oversee things if it's necessary. It's really not always necessary, but of course, y'all might know that my brother Keith has had cancer. I mentioned that before, and he actually went into the hospital. He is doing a little bit better. So for you guys who have inquired and mentioned it, I appreciate the prayers and the support. That's really strong. And plus, I got to get here and I got to meet Joe, so that's really nice. Okay, so Joe, we're going to fire this machine up in a second, but I kind of wanted to show everybody. You see where the handle is? Joe, how tall are you? About 6'2"?
6'2".
6'2", okay. All right, I'm about 5'11", close to 6 foot. If I stand up like this. But anyway, you notice where the handle is. We had to move the handle up. It was down here. So if you're in the 5'6" range to maybe 5'8" range, you might want to have it a little lower here. Because what it does, even if you're shorter, I still feel like if you ever find somebody who is taller or shorter, most of the times their hands are about equal. Put your hand beside me, Joe. Notice our hands come down to just about the same place. Look at that, son. So even though there's a 3-inch height difference, your hands are usually in the same place. A lot of people don't know that. Unless you're like a 7-foot basketball player. You know, those guys, that's a little different story with that extra reach. But by moving the handle up here, instead of having it down here, as you notice the way it was before, it just wears your back out going back and forth. And I'm also a big believer in being ambidextrous. I don't know if you are or not. Teach yourself and switch over and clean left-handed sometimes. What that does is it puts even wear and tear on your body, and it doesn't cause you to get off alignment and have to go to chiropractor or whatever. So, but keeping it up here tall, look how much of a difference it is if I was right here. But now, when I clean, we're going to fire this bad boy up in a minute here. I'm going to show you the whole install. But notice how easy this is. And by the way, this has the new bulletproof head design that we just got done. A little bit extra feature if anybody wants it. Just kind of keep that in mind. Remember, the head locks in. You got the view. And this is just one, the one I'm taking out on the road. Joe actually bought 2 upright wands, a swivel stair tool. He's got the turbo hybrid, the water claw, air movers. I mean the whole thing. And you'll see this when we walk out here. Before I do, though, I'd like to talk to Joe for one quick second. Joe, this was the larger machine. Why did you go with the larger machine? And how did you go about either saving for it or whatever? What was your goal?
Well, we currently own a janitorial commercial cleaning company. Nice. And as of 2020, we wanted to start getting into the floor care. But then COVID hit, so we kind of took a chill pill on that, and we just started saving our money.
Oh, smart! Because
we wanted to be able to buy the best equipment and just outcompete everybody.
Oh,
and so,
awesome.
As me doing my research, I came across the Profire, and I started doing research on that, and I found out that that was probably one of the top line truck mounts on the market. So that's the machine that I decided to go with.
Nice. Have you seen any of that guy's videos right here?
Absolutely. I've watched every single one of them multiple times.
No, okay, that was a fake point. Just to
I've watched every single one of them.
Oh, wow. And you got the courses too, right?
We did.
And we gave those to you earlier because that comes with the truck mount buy. Have they been helpful for you?
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Absolutely. It's
Sweet. So you feel like
it's a lot of knowledge.
Cool, cool, cool. I've been cleaning for 40 years. And I actually built those courses for my grandson. So if I ever pass away, God forbid, I don't want to go in the near future, but so that way he can be able to go out and clean just the way I clean, be able to relate to the customer just the way that I relate, to be able to educate the client just the way that I educated the clients for the last 40 years. And we've become the highest rated provider in the 7-city district, maybe in the whole state, okay? we're trying to. But let's walk out here. Let's take a look, Joe. Like Joe said. Oh, Joe. First of all, we went ahead and had it line next door. How has your experience been with us and with Ed and everybody?
It's top notch. It's second to none.
Oh, sweet.
Absolutely.
That was not rehearsed, but thank you, Joe.
Yes,
hey,
sir.
make sure he gets a little extra samples, guy. All right. All right. Let's walk on out here, and we'll show everybody the setup in the back here first, son. And Joe, you basically have a freshwater electric line. You have 2 solution lines. They're both electric. It's mounted up here. He's got his spotter container up here, son. We'll just hold it right there. Then what was this, 350, 400 foot? 400 foot.
350 foot of hose.
Right.
But with two other cheaters.
Right. But the cheater hose is on there to give him his 400. But look at it, he's still got ample room on it, so that's really nice. Over here he's got a chemical shelf. Now I want to mention to you guys, with the Promaster, when you get a Promaster, that the wheel well sits a little high, which I pointed out to Joe. So what happens is your bottom shelf comes a little higher. But by adjusting the shelf upward here, you can still get 3 levels of chemicals, but you have to run the powders through here. And of course, when you're going to run powders, make sure it's black label, blue label, red label, green label, BioPro, our rinses, Frog Nasty, Rug Smack, and Unchained. Shameless plug. Right, Joe? Shameless plug. But what do you think of the whole setup? And he also had it Line X. Yep, we had it Line X next door. And Joe, you went up about halfway up the van. Notice you went up halfway up the van right here, son. You notice he went halfway up the van, so that's good. Most guys usually just go about 12 inches, but I like going halfway. I think that's really a good spot to go because I don't want any moisture intrusion, any moisture damage. This setup is made to last a lifetime. So you want to take care of it and have the, the proper things in place, and that really makes a big difference. So you just push the button, plus you got 175 foot, where you can probably get a couple hundred feet up if you want to, depending on the size of the hose. This is what, 3/4 inch, Ed? And 3/4 inch, think about the 3/4 inch, what it does is it fills the tank faster. So if you want your freshwater tank full, it fills it faster. Now Ed, I don't know what size tanks you went because I have been on the road. Do you want to come over here, Ed, and we'll talk about the machine on the side here? And we've gone through the whole thing with Joe. We made a video of how to use it. Rob's somewhere back there. That's okay, that's all right. We made I got you. We made a video also on how to use it, how to maintain it, so that way Joe will have that. He's just not left in the dark. We're very big about service. We're a very service-oriented company. There's a reason why TruckMountForums has the most 5-star reviews. Again,
absolutely,
for the online store, and we've worked hard to make people happy. You can always reach out to me or Ed, and we're right there, and we'll take care of any problems you have. Okay, so as you come over to the side of the machine, we went through it with Joe. Already, you can see it's a Profire. What size waste tank, first of all, Ed?
130.
130.
Yeah.
130 gallons.
Yep.
It's 130,
That's
and then
why we couldn't do side by side. You went with a little bit bigger.
Right. And they upgraded to it because you said you get some well water up there sometimes.
We do.
Right?
We do.
Right. You might want to think about adding a water softener, or descaling it maybe on a consistent basis, like we talked about earlier.
Yep.
Maybe like every 3 to 6 months, just run a little bit of something through there, just kind of keep it clear. Or, as I suggested, you might want to fill up at home or at your shop, fill it up ahead of time. That way you don't have to worry about running into the hard water and wells and things of that nature.
Cool.
Okay? Because it goes a long ways, because the machine really doesn't bypass water unless it's absolutely possible. This machine gets a tremendous amount of vacuum. It's like 20 inches of lift. And it gets really hot, but I was mentioning to Joe, you really don't need as much heat with this system. Even though you can run it hot as you want to, it's really not necessary when you have the proper chemistry like TruckMountForums chemistry. Another shameless plug, but it's true. The higher the quality chemical, remember chat, you got chemical, heat, agitation, and time. And if any of those are greater, you can reduce something else. So why run any hotter than you have to? But if you get a place like a greasy spoon restaurant or something with a lot of oil, you can fire it up and cut right through it if you want to. But if you get some Frog Nasty, throw that on there, that'll make the difference. You don't have to have the high heat, and you go right on through it. And he does have a CRB, so that's important. You picked that up from us, and you already got that, right? Good.
15 inch.
So let's do this on. Oh, plus got a courtesy hose. Hey, I also want to mention, Rob, I want to show people this as you back up here a second, one more time. I want to talk about this, and I'm going to do a separate video on this. This is your courtesy hose, and almost all truck mounts come with a courtesy hose. And as I mentioned to you earlier, Joe, people have burned themselves from this. And why is that? It's because they ran the machine for a long time. They come out, they want to mix something up. And remember, at this point, you're at the closest point to your heat exchanger. So that's going to be your highest heat, right? So this thing's going to come out super hot. And if you drop it because it burns your hand or something, goes down towards your shoe or in your clothes, you can get some serious burns, as I showed you the picture of, right? And I don't care how fast you are. You can't get that shoe and sock off fast enough. Ask us how we know, right, Ed? You know? So, but we don't even run them as hot as some people do. But some people run them massively hot. I mean, they're running at 250, 280. Okay, that's a little tip right there to keep in mind. It's got a cool water hose, hot water hose. I would just say
not cold.
cooler. Right. I would
two of those.
Yeah, 2.5 gallon jugs. That's my preference. So you can run a acid rinse on one side, like the Ultimate Fiber rinse, and an alkaline or semi-alkaline, like the Black Label, which is what we run most of the times, the Black Label rinse. Okay, well, let's do this, Ed. I'm gonna get you to fire it up. We're gonna go in here and start it up, let people hear it. First, we're gonna just start it right up, Ed, and show them how it's got a throttle. It's right in here. Like I said, if you buy the machine, you get the complete use video, you get the complete maintenance video, and you got Ed and I and Kyle as backup, so we can always be there to help you on a moment's notice, because we understand the importance of no downtime, or as little downtime as possible, because we're in a race against downtime, because every time you're down, you're losing money. Yeah, you can lose $1,000 or more in a day, and you don't want that to happen. So we like to be there on a moment's notice. If you need help, and we'll walk you through it. So let's go ahead and fire it over. Oh yeah, by the way, we build the ball filter inside of it, so the ball filter's all built inside, and we like to put the sock in there, I should say.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you can. We went ahead and put the starter cups on here too, so it's all set up where you can dual one. And I put this little quick release on here, so you can take the cover off. And you notice how it's got the 5-gallon paint filter in there, so that's pretty cool. All right, so let's go ahead and put that back together, Ed. Fire it over. Of course, you can tell how much water you have in your fresh water tank, how much dirty water is in your dirty water tank by the tubes that are on there. So that's important. You can get up into your filters here. It's a nice, good fit. If you want to back up, son, I want to show them something from a distance. Back up all the way up to there so you can see most of the truck. I'm gonna tell you what, look at this truck. I'm amazed with the Ram. Tell me what you told me, Ed, about how this suspension.
It's a beefed up suspension. With all the weight, it didn't sag much at all.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. And oh, by the way, come over here, Joe, a second. I want you to mention to them why you went with the Ram, because you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, the reason why I went with the Ram is because I live in Pennsylvania and we get snow, and the Ram comes with front-wheel drive instead of back-wheel drive. So that was the main reason why I went with the Ram.
But notice how that suspension, like Ed said, that thing didn't sag a bit compared to other brands. But I will say this, the only problems I've heard with the Rams sometimes is the transmissions start to go out with a little higher miles. Because I mentioned to Joe, if you keep it serviced on a regular basis, that probably won't be an issue. But other than that, people have loved the units. It's got good power, it's got a good system, and this is just a 2500. Look how well it holds up on this.
Yeah,
that's pretty
amazing.
impressive. Okay, let them hear it just start, but don't crank it on high till we get over there. Just crank it over, simple crank. All right, let's walk on in here, Joe. As soon as we get in there, Joe, will you fire it up for us, pal, and then come on in here? All right. Notice we're parked about 20 feet away from the building on purpose, right, Rob? And we got a door open here and a door open in the back. So always make sure Joe, you used portables before this or truck mount?
I never used a truck mount before.
Wow.
I only used portables.
Wow, so Joe hopped from a portable to this massive beast. Well, I want to let you know, a carpet cleaner a year either gets sick or dies from parking too close to a building or a home because carbon monoxide.
Right.
So we have carbon monoxide testers we keep on us. That's good, or at least stay 20 feet away, or make sure you got plenty of ventilation like we have right here. Okay, go ahead and crank this over. Crank this over. And you can feel the vacuum on it. Go ahead and crank it up. I want to show them, Ed, you got it on high speed now?
Yeah, the first setting.
You want to put it on, that's the first setting. Put it on the second setting, just for a second.
Does it work out?
Yeah, I'm going to lower it right back down, but lower it right back down. I just want people to hear the difference. Just for a second, yeah. You can hear the difference. Hear that? Big difference.
Big difference.
So depending on how sold it is, there's 3 also, right? Go to 3. Some go to 3. That is high. That's high. Okay. I want to cut it back down just a little bit more. That is, that's what I thought. Hey, but cut it back 1 notch so we can hear. Cut back 1 notch, yeah. Now, Joe, I don't think it's necessary on most runs to have to run at high speed, but that's up to you. Let the soil level and the type of soil be the varying factor, or how far you're out with your hose. Remember, every time you move your hose out further, you lose a little bit of lift, you lose a little bit of CFMs, but this is a high lift machine, so it works. Now, Joe has a 25-foot leader hose on here, and you have that back at home. My recommendation in some of my videos you've seen is to go ahead and use the cheater or leader hose, or whip hose, whatever you want to call it. It's really nice for getting around rooms. So upstairs, where it's not as soiled, use the whip hose. And you can really get around things, not tear things up. It's not as bulky. And remember, you can get up on the furniture because our swivel wands get all the way down flat. So that's a nice feature for customers. Go ahead and give it a run there, Joe. Turn your water on there. Notice he's got a safety quick disconnect on here, a ball valve, he's got your temperature gauge. Go ahead and just start cleaning, Joe. You got it on the way up, and you can slow down a little bit. Listen, I like Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3 on the way back, all right? And you're kind of going in a V fashion. I want people to understand this, and we'll talk about this another time. You're cleaning kind of in a V fashion, and a lot of guys do, that's fine, but let me show you how I clean Joe instead. I've never showed Joe this before, but what I do is I'll have the on, and then on and still on. Notice how the speed I'm going? Then I cut it off. But then I go up about halfway through it if it's really soiled and do it again. Okay? So if you're going up and back like that, then what happens is you don't have that extra moisture that's being left there running down the fiber. Now, guys, you used to be able to get away with that when you had, we'll go ahead and cut it off so we can talk. But you used to be able to get away with that when you had nylon carpets, because nylon carpets, Joe, would absorb moisture quite a bit. But the new carpets, polyesters, olefins, and polypropylenes won't. You see the moisture coming through there, Rob? So the problem is, if you're doing that zigzag, which is great for drying, okay, use that for drying. But when you're cleaning, I like to clean straight up, straight back, cut it off. I'll have it on the whole time, on the way up, on the way back. Then I'll cut it off and overlap a little bit so I don't have any flooding right there.
Oh, okay, I see that.
Same thing. So I'm overlapping my strokes. See that? Mississippi 1, Mississippi 2, Mississippi 3, and I'm usually about 3 feet. Overlapping again. All right, so if you're going in that zigzag fashion when you're cleaning, look, you're leaving all that moisture right there, and on a polyester, olefin, or polypropylene, it goes right down into the thing there. What happens is people get wicking.
Right.
And then they blame, oh, well, something else. But no, it was because of improper technique generally. So now when you go to dry, if you want to do the backgammon in there, which I do love, that's fine. Remember this, you're doing the backgammon. If you're doing wide ones, maybe upstairs do wide ones if you want to, but downstairs where it's heavily soiled, pull off that whip hose, run it 2 inch straight to it, get that extra lift for the really soiled area, and then when you're doing, notice how much tighter, see how much tighter I'm going with those? Look how tight those are.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to dry better? The further apart or the tighter ones?
Tighter ones.
Right, exactly. And of course we are dry and clean, so we have to leave the carpets clean and dry at our company. But I recommend doing the same thing. It just makes a big difference, Joe. And you're going to love this wand because it's got the big sight glass on there. And of course it's got adjustable jets on it. They're already pre-adjusted. If you need any adjustments, if you need help with anything, let me know, we're there. That about covers it, Rob. That's the Profire install. Joe, thank you very much for choosing our company, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I hope you have many, many years, decades of use out of this unit.
I'm sure we will.
I feel like you will, especially if you take the time and maintain it. Maintenance is key, guys. And if you need help with maintenance, you have the book, but you have even a better resource with Ed and Kyle.
Cool.
And then maybe me sometimes. But I might be out on the road. So guys, I'm going to be heading, I'll be leaving out of here next week. I'm going back down the East Coast to do the east side of Florida, be meeting with cleaners. If you're in the Florida area on the East Coast side, you want to meet up with me, let me know. I'll stop and grab you some samples and stuff. You've been using our chemistry already, right?
We have.
Our stuff?
For VLM, yes.
Yeah, VLM, encapsulation, super cap and stuff like that. That's great too, right, Joe?
Yes, sir.
All
it's
right.
amazing.
Man,
it's amazing.
This is nice. This is not, I'm just messing with you. Well, I appreciate all the support for all the different cleaners out there. Remember that we believe in the law of reciprocity. I believe if I help you become successful, you'll help us become successful. And it's really worked well. And I think you should take that same philosophy. I can tell Joe already has that that aptitude. As a matter of fact, when you were out there talking, Joe said, yeah, I want to go out there and I want to do the best job I want to have the best chemistry. I want to have the best equipment. I want to have the best look. You're getting a wrap done and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
And so Joe, I was telling Joe that even if you don't tell the customer, quality screams, and you have a passion for it.
For sure.
So I was picking up on his passion. Remember this, what moves you moves others. So if you're moved by your products, if you're moved by your equipment, if you're moved by your quality of workmanship, believe me, the customer's going to be moved also. But there you go. I'm stepping down off the soapbox right there. I'm Rob Allen with Truckmount Forums. Hope you enjoyed this video. Go ahead and message us if you're interested in equipment, any chemistry. Remember, tmfshop.net. If you don't mind, please go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This video will be on YouTube if you did miss it. Don't forget, we have a TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. We have a Facebook private group for cleaners who want to share ideas but don't want to give it out to the public. That's Truckmount Forums, Carpet Cleaning Professionals, right, Rob? Then we have a fan page. If you'll like those and comment on all those things and join it, we'd appreciate it. I'm Rob Allen with Truckmount Forums. Have yourself a great day.